Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, my fellow YouTubers, Facebookians. Today in Living Simply and Fun, tomorrow I just want to say to all of you, take some time and be grateful for what you have and enjoy your family. But today we will be talking about a video that usually I wouldn't bring up, but we're doing a video tomorrow on prime rib and how to make it and Yorkshire pudding, but that's tomorrow. Today I want to talk to you about not role playing, first person shooters. Actually, I was thinking role playing for a second, but first person shooters. Now, I'm gonna say my thing first because usually Aaron rants and rambles and dabbles in what he's got to say first. By the way, I love my controller shirt that says "Addict," which is true. But anyways, here's the deal. Aaron played Call of Duty 3 last night. Now, Call of Duty 3 is okay, but in my opinion, we were talking about first-person shooters doing like a joint first-person shooter. Now, for example, this old game here, Halo.
Call of Duty 3, what we were playing last night.
Well, for example, Halo basically is a first-person shooter that looks fake. You can tell it's fake. Same with Halo 2. It's all fake.
But black looks realistic.
Yes, well, black is
pull
because
that down for a second.
What, black?
Yeah.
Hold on. So I'm gonna just grab the Xbox version. We have the
fine.
PS2 version.
This is black. Great game, by the way.
Now, black is one of those. Is if you get a headshot, they stay down. But if you do a headshot in Call of Duty, it takes 3 shots just to knock them down.
Yes, we are behind the times, though. It's not Black Ops or World at War or any of that.
I've looked up a lot of information before doing these videos, and I have to say, before I continue, that I used to be.
Don't put them up yet.
I used to be a big first-person shooter fan. The problem now is, and I'm going to get to this before he goes on to his little rant or raid or whatever, that these games aren't fun anymore. First of all, you don't know what enemies are what. Secondly, they don't tell you where your objective is, and sometimes they say, oh, you need online this or that. And the third thing is, and this is from my own opinion, is I watched Aaron play this for 2-3 hours yesterday, and I was half asleep because it was downright boring. Now, black is cool, yes, but the problem with black is again, it's like realistic. This is realistic. Black is.
Well, Call of Duty is realistic, too. Problem with Call of Duty is everybody's wearing almost the same uniform. It's very hard to tell who is who. And the HUD is horrible in telling you which direction to look. You're getting shot from the left, so you turn to the left, there's nobody there, and now you're being shot from the right. You get shot tons of times and you don't die, which actually isn't a bad thing because games like Ghost Recon, which we happen to have too, you get shot once in the knee and you're dead. This I found almost too easy at points, but there was also some other problems. Our character kept hitting landmines and stuff, and it was part of the action sequence, the cutscenes. And your character would be laying on the ground, and now he's being dragged by people again, so you didn't have control of your character all the time. And I know cutscenes are supposed to be, but you kind of want the superhero guy who's never going to get injured or wounded or anything like that. And
Halo, Halo, where you got your health packs and you're in a special armored suit, and bulletproof.
There are no health packs. You just take cover and you gain your health back. And that's usually pretty easy to do. Throwing grenades is almost impossible because even if you throw a high arc, it only goes 10 feet from you. And
sometimes I've seen him throw a grenade and then it bounces back in the game.
Right next to me, even though I threw it into an open area, it ends up smacking the side of a box that's 5 feet away. And it rolls right back at me. Even though I threw it way over the box, the character wouldn't launch it that far.
For example, Halo, in my opinion...
Oh, and another thing that happens in Call of Duty 3 is the enemy will throw a grenade at you, and you're just doing your normal thing of trying to fire, but you auto-pick it up. And it's why the hell did I just pick up a hand grenade? I know the grenade's there. I want to run away from the grenade, not pick it up. So that's kind of bad too. Now the thing with Black is you are one person against an army. And it's based on sneaking and stealth. And that's kind of what I've seen in the Medal of Honor series too. Or Project Snowblind, which is another one, or Splinter Cell. Not Splinter Cell, not Splinter Cell. I meant Time Splitters. All those games I really enjoy. I still enjoy them. I've found that Black on a revisit, though, is much harder than I remember it being. So I got used to it, apparently, and now I'm not.
I wanted to say before, this is the reason I requested this video with Aaron's help. It's simple. Some of these games, like Call of Duty, Medal of Honor, you got all these games. I mean, I watched them yesterday, and you're sitting there and you see just the rifle or the handgun, and he's like this, loading it, and he's walking around in first-person perspective. And he's sitting there, and he's taking shots, and he's going around a rock, and then he's got to sit there and take 3-4 shots with a rifle to the head, or a sniper rifle to the head. And the guy takes 3 or 4. No, 1 shot. Now, here's what I want to complain about. Now, I used to love these games. Now, Halo was fake. Because you knew you never knew Master Chief. You just walked around, you did your thing, and and you got these voices, and you got your assault rifle, and everything was fake. But nowadays, they're making these games more and more realistic. Halo's always going to be fake. More and more realistic, like Battlefield, Call of Duty. And then you sit there and you play it, and it's like, oh, well, you got these enemies here that they could be called terrorists in like the Battlefield series. And they look just like you, so how do you know what enemy is what? And this is my gut feeling of why it's not fun anymore, is then you sit there and you watch people say, oh, it's fantasy. Yes, it's fantasy, but the more you make it realistic, the more it sinks into the head that these idiots out there can do things. Well, and then look what Adam Lanza does. I think personally between gun owners and non-gun owners, the gun owners that play it, they call people crackpots for playing these because you own a real gun, and then you're playing this, and then you hear people say, oh, these games need to be banned because of it, and then I see him play it, and it's like, how boring is it?
Well, one of the nice things about this is that it's semi-historic. It's historical fiction, for the most part. At least it's a good learning experience about war. However, unfortunately, it kind of glorifies war rather than shows the bad, terrible parts of it. You don't get attached to anybody and watch your buddy die. Like, oh, I really love that character. I mean, when we played Red Dead Redemption, I love that game, but it's technically a third-person shooter / sandbox / free roam MMORPG, whatever. Even though it didn't really have much in the RPG element. Other than that your guns upgrade. But at least in that, you get attached to the character, and it hurts at the end of the game. I don't want to give away any spoilers, but there's a point near the end that just really pulls at you.
Yeah.
And yes, we have Blizzard here. So, in like Uncharted 2, it was a better, more action adventure based than this. This was so slow moving, and it wasn't even any fun because there was no sniping angles. You're basically right out in the middle of everything the entire game so far that I've played through it.
I just tested out Call of Duty last night for PC and Call of Duty 2 and the other Call of Duties I have. And I gotta tell you, it sucked. It's the same thing. You're open air,
no.
you got no objectives, nothing. And they say these games are like the greatest games, and then Doom, then Sliced Bread. I found Doom 3 to be more entertaining.
Doom 3 was great. You actually had points where the game would actually scare the crap out of you because you'd be walking along a hallway that's got nothing in it. All of a sudden, you got a demon right there, like beating the hell out of you, and you're dead. At the same time, though, you were actually able to use stealth for the most part and get one-shot kills and try to go through and clear the whole thing. In fact, I remember Medal of Honor Rising Sun. One of the things I loved about that game was the fact that I actually got through the entire game without being shot once. I've gotten close to that with Black, except for the final stage of Black is so darn hectic that it's nearly impossible not to be hit several times, because you're in a small pinned-in room basically with 2 floors and constant barrage of enemies with everything from sniper rifles to rocket launchers, and it's a full-out massacre. And it was actually a blast at that point. Whereas Call of Duty 3, the whole thing's just chaos. It really was not fun. It was slow moving. It was easy to just not die. I had it on the hardest difficulty setting, and I'm just running along like, oh, I'm out in the middle of the open. Oh, the only thing that can kill me really is a grenade. And that's usually when I picked one up by mistake, because the game picked it up for me, not because I did. And it gives you no chance to throw it back. So it's like, oh, great, I picked up a grenade, I couldn't throw it back because I didn't notice. Project Snowblind was a lot of fun too for the same thing. You can kind of go through it and you can use positioning to an advantage. And it was more complicated and complex. The storyline was better. I'm sorry, but I'm Call of Duty 3 is the most recent of all the Call of Duty games I've played, and I wasn't impressed by Finest Hour, which I've beaten.
Finest Hour had so many bugs, it was barely edible to play.
I'm not impressed by this. I wasn't impressed by Airborne. I think that was Airborne.
Airborne's the one where you jump out of planes and stuff and land, and I wasn't impressed.
I haven't been impressed by just about any Call of Duty game I've played. In fact, it seems to be the lamest of all the first-person shooters. I guess people really like the online mode.
Yeah, frag everything and then brag about it. And it's like, my opinion on that is, if you like that sort of thing, whatever. But the point is first of all, campaign mode, 4 to 8 hours to beat. Say you buy Call of Duty Ghost.
Yeah, this is supposed to be 12 hours, apparently.
Call of Duty Ghost, they say it's 40 hours. A lot of people say they can beat it in 9 hours. Bottom line is, you buy these games for $60. Mostly it's multiplayer, online for Frag Fest. And frankly, the games are,
Uncharted 3, I took 7 hours, 7 minutes to beat the entire game. It wasn't the hardest difficulty level, second the hardest. But, that was an initial run-through with no practice or anything. So, that was a real simple game. It's like Lollipop Chainsaw that's supposed to take 5 hours, roughly. Which, I want that game, but...
Anyways, the bottom line is these games used to be fun for me and Aaron. Halo was great. You knew it was fake, like I said. But nowadays, these aren't fun.
I guess what I'm trying to say, though, is I'll give a try to other first-person shooters. I'll even maybe try one of the newer Call of Duties, but, Call of Duty's upset me so much that I don't know as I really want to play another Call of Duty game. Yeah, the online might be fun, but you know what? I tried out Red Dead Redemption Online briefly, and that was a blast. I tried out Uncharted 3 online, and that was fun too. And right now I'm addicted to hockey anyways, and I'm really enjoying hockey online. So, unfortunately, I want to get 2014, and I got 2012, and there's not as many people playing 2012 now as there are playing 2014. So,
yeah, but we're not talking hockey. So,
yes.
Bottom line is, I'm going to get the last word in because we're running out of time, is these games, in my opinion, are not fun. Halo was fun. It's
I still want a Black 2. Sorry.
Halo isn't fun. It is fun, but isn't fun. It's fake. Call of Duty, Medal of Honor, those series by EA in those areas are not fun anymore. Why? In my opinion, for one, true owners of guns are going to get the flack for playing them, thinking, they're loopy because of Adam Lanza. And two is, in my opinion, they're making these games, they're rehashing them. Update the graphics, give a new weapon, send them out, and the same thing. Go kill Germans or something. So,
anyways, do add us, do leave suggestions, and...
I'll do the proper way.
Add her to
Please add us as a friend if you wish. Please leave comments in the box if you wish. Please subscribe. And please give us suggestions for our next video. And look for tomorrow's video if you wish. Thank you. And God bless you all.